Jason Isbell is a country slash Americana slash alt country singer, songwriter, and guitarist who comes from Alabama or Tennessee, somewhere close to the state line between the two. His career started in 2001 when he joined the Drive-By Truckers, who are a country band. He left them amicably in 2007 to launch a solo career, and has had 5 albums in that career. And since 2017, he's been with I think it's Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit, with his band, the 400 Unit. And there's been 3 albums under that name. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the 4th solo album by Jason Isbell, and it's my first time listening to it. It's not my first encounter with him. There is another review of one of his albums, Something More Than Free, which was the next album after this, is already on my channel. So I would describe this as being singer-songwriter with a kind of country slash Americana leaning. It's mostly not stuff that you might imagine you go yeehaw to. So apparently originally it was intended to be more solo and more acoustic, and some of it is kind of like that, but apparently as they started recording, I'm not quite sure who, Jason and whoever was with him, producer, I think, they kind of felt the need for the band to come back in. So sometimes it's more stripped back and sometimes it's more kind of band stuff. Musically, it reminds me less of somebody like Kenny Rogers and more of somebody like Alison Krauss, who is usually labelled as being bluegrass rather than country. It does kind of have country-ish leanings, but it's kind of almost somewhere between bluegrass and folk at times. One of the kind of very iconic sounds on this album is of obviously him singing, and an acoustic guitar being played with an electric guitar also being played, but often quite slowly played, individual notes, and with a deep tremolo sound to it. And I don't know what the link is between this electric guitar with tremolo and Americana, but it's a nice sound. I think it works well. The production on the album, I would say, is generally handled pretty well. It's, as I say, at times it's quite stripped back. It actually feels like something quite a lot older. It feels more like 70s. There are occasions when it does sound more up to date, but it kind of has got a singer-songwriter vibe. Not that Jason sounds like somebody like Joni Mitchell, but you can kind of imagine Carly Simon or something like that doing an album that's kind of got these sort of leanings. And it doesn't set off as so that those people who've been with me for a while, thank you for keeping on watching, I think, guys. If you know me reasonably well, you'll know that country sets off some negative reactions in me. This doesn't, so it's not triggering that country reaction. And in fact, I'm quite enjoying it. His singing is strong. I'm going to keep mentioning the country side of things. He's definitely got a country pronunciation, and sometimes the lyrical phrasing, it comes across as being kind of country, just the way the words are put together, and the use of in instead of ing at the end of words. But it's not sung in a very country style. It's not nasal. And in some ways, it's sung kind of more folk-like, or certainly American folk-like, I would say. And his singing is very convincing. It's very personal, and I was surprised by how much I was drawn into his world by the songs. I felt like he was feeling what he was singing, and that's often a thing that I find quite attractive in music. The songwriting is excellent. The songs are basically about life and regrets, the darker side of life. There's a song about cancer, there's a song about abuse, things like that, but other stuff as well. And it's kind of a mixture of, say, quite personal stuff in here. So I enjoyed this album quite a bit, actually, which is something to say for somebody who I've kind of had in my head as a country artist, and he's not really either of the two albums that I've listened to. I believe he's very, very successful, and so some people might, as a result, be opposed to him. But I certainly haven't found anything that I've found difficult with Jason Isbell yet. So there we go. That's what I think. I'd love to know what you think of this album, so please do let me know by leaving me a comment, and that's it from me for now.
A heart on the run keeps a hand on the gun. You can't trust anyone. I was so sure what I needed was more. Tried to shoot out the sun.